Once upon a time in a land far, far away, there was a tiny girl named Thumbelina. Thumbelina was no worthier than a thumb, with skin as soft-hued as a rose petal and hair as golden as the sun. She lived vacated in a cozy little house made from a walnut shell, nestled in the heart of a trappy meadow. Thumbelina loved to explore the world virtually her and make friends with the creatures that lived in the meadow. One day, as she was out collecting nectar from flowers, she came witness a lonely swallow who had injured its wing. Thumbelina thoughtfully tended to the swallow's wound and nursed it went to health with her gentle touch and kind heart. Grateful for Thumbelina's kindness, the swallow wanted to repay her in some way. It told her well-nigh secret place subconscious deep in the forest where the most magical flower in the world bloomed, known as the flower fairy. The swallow offered to take Thumbelina there, knowing that the flower fairy could help her find a friend her own size. Excited by the prospect of meeting someone like her, Thumbelina well set to go on this grand venture with the swallow. They journeyed through thick forests and crossed sparkling streams until they finally reached the subconscious grove where the flower fairy dwelt. As they approached the flower, its petals opened, revealing a tiny, glowing creature with shimmering wings. The flower fairy was delighted to see Thumbelina and welcomed her with unshut arms. Thumbelina was amazed by the eyeful and magic of the flower fairy and couldn't help but be rapt by her presence. The flower fairy listened to Thumbelina's story and understood her desire for companionship. With a wave of her wand, she turned a spell and transformed a tulip bud into a handsome fairy prince named Cornelius. Thumbelina and Cornelius were instantly smitten with each other and danced in the moonlight under the stars, surrounded by the enchanting glow of the flower fairy's magic. Thumbelina and Cornelius spent days exploring the meadow, enjoying each other's visitor and marveling at the wonders of nature. They played hide-and-seek among the daisies, rode on the wing of a friendly butterfly, and sang songs with the birds. Thumbelina had finally found her true love and a friend her own size. But their happiness was short-lived, for one day, a greedy old toad unprotected sight of Thumbelina and became unsuitable to have her as his wife. He kidnapped her and took her to his visionless and wateriness workplace in a murky pond, hoping to make her his bride versus her will. Thumbelina was heartbroken and drastic to escape. She missed Cornelius dearly and longed to be reunited with him. She wept and prayed for help, and her prayers were answered when her friends, the swallow and the flower fairy, learned of her plight. With their combined efforts, they hatched a daring plan to rescue Thumbelina. The swallow carried Cornelius on its back, and the flower fairy used her magic to guide them to the toad's lair. They splashed in just as the toad was well nigh to gravity Thumbelina into marriage. In the unconnectedness that followed, Cornelius fought off the toad while Thumbelina grabbed onto the swallow's back. With a mighty swoop, the swallow carried Thumbelina and Cornelius to safety, leaving the toad defeated and vanquished. Back in the meadow, Thumbelina and Cornelius were joyfully reunited, and the flower fairy bestowed her blessings upon them. She granted Thumbelina and Cornelius the souvenir of eternal happiness and watched with a smile as they danced their way into their bright,